Ethics and Policy Committee meeting to order. Roll call, Donna Savage here, Jeff Long,
Here.
Patrick McCurdy absent, Robbie Melton absent, Randall Boswell
Here.
here, Reeves here, we have a quorum. Approve the minutes of the last meeting held on January 4th, 2024.
I make a motion, we approve them with, the exception of one word in the resolution about the record, we need to take the word table out.
Where's that at?
Resolution regarding an open record law, which is tabled until
Okay,
this month, this meeting. We didn't,
Both of the tables.
yeah, we didn't have, we just postponed, we put them off. We put them off until this meeting about the Spanish translation, and it was supposed to be postponed, it's to the table.
made a motion. To accept. The minutes. That needed to take out the tables, right?
Yeah, that, replace postpone, tables are postponed. Put off every until this meeting, 9/24.
Postpone.
I second.
And Jeff second, all four say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, approved resolution regarding open records law, Lily Ann and the election. So, do you wanna talk first, Miss Lily Ann, or do you want Craig?
Well, why don't I just do an introduction, then Craig can tell you the details.
Okay,
Craig, I think Craig received a request for open records, by a gentleman who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, was wanting access to Albany County voting, certain information about the voting system here in Albany County. And as a result of that request, then Craig contacted his folks in the state office, state elections office, and then sent it over to me, because in records request, open records request, I usually respond and either deny or provide the records. And in this case, this guy's name was James B. Garrett, Nashville, Tennessee, and he requested information only. And one of the things that he was requesting was some information that we thought was really a little strange about the voting system. So Craig contacted his folks in the state elections office, and I contacted CTASC and looked up the law, and there is, unknown to me, I had no idea that there is an exception to open records having to do with information dealing with the plans, security codes, programs, passwords that would grant unauthorized entry to buildings or systems, and information that identifies structural and operational vulnerabilities that would allow disruption or interference with government services. That includes the vendor that protects electronic systems and the data system of county voting machines and any other computers in the county. So that's an exception to the open records, law, which I was not aware of, but, Mr. I think Dodd, he's an attorney with the state elections office, Andrew Dodd.
Yes.
And he gave us, an opinion that we could do that, and I checked with CTASC, and sure enough we can, the county government can do that. And as a result of that law, I'm gonna hand you out a couple of handouts here. One is, Tennessee Code 107-504I, which, I've got one.
Yeah, with some comments.
Got one for Greg too. And,
Greg had one, he had two.
oh, okay. And, so I searched the law and, prepared a resolution, which I will also pass that out to you.
Do it.
And this is just a rough draft. Actually, the one that will go in will be a little bit different on the citation. But this is a rough draft. It'll kind of give you, and what we're doing here. Well, Greg, do you wanna make any statements or say anything to them before we go into this, resolution?
Well, the only thing that, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to add, but we're not trying to be difficult, and we're not trying to not provide records that the public's entitled to. But we're also gonna try and be proactive. We started getting requests during the last election cycle for some stuff that was, I won't say out there, but it was unique. We hadn't gotten those kind of requests before, I guess is probably the best way of saying it. And we got a request now that was a little unique, and so to be proactive and just kind of make sure that we handle everything the way we need to. I think it was the Office of Open Records Counsel that suggested that this be done.
Yes.
And I've got that email here, that we received from them, and so that's why we're here tonight.
And like Craig said, you know, we're not trying to, open records law in Tennessee is really very broad. You know, it's amazing to me that the open records law in Tennessee requires all government bodies to have their records available to the public, which makes sense because the public pays for the services and they have a right to look at the records. But I thought it interesting that the Tennessee legislature excluded themselves from that law.
Oh.
So I thought that was very interesting, and I thought you might find it interesting too. But if we look through this resolution, we'll see a citation to the law, and it says that the Oakland County Executive, I'm in the second whereas, looks like the second whereas is misspelled, the whereas, but we'll have it corrected by the time we get to the county commission. Whereas the county executive and the county commission hereby makes confidential the following: plans, security codes, programs, passwords that would grant unauthorized entry to buildings or systems. And number two, information that identifies structural and operational vulnerabilities that would allow disruption or interference with government services, including the vendor that protects electronic systems and data of county-owned voting machines. So I think this gentleman that contacted us, sent the request, wanted the brand of the voting machine.
Software vendors and software vendors would be the big thing that was different about this one right here, because it's not the voting equipment, it's the software that they're asking for. And that's different, and with this cycle coming up, I think we need to be proactive in how we go about things.
Yeah. And not talking about this coming up election, but the previous election, after the presidential election of 2020, was it?
It was.
Craig got several requests from people from other counties. Some of them, one lady I think was here, but there were several from other counties, and they stated that some MyPillow guy, the MyPillow guy was gonna pay, they wanted access to all these records in Craig's office, and it was like gonna cost him and his staff thousands of dollars to produce those. And the law requires that the payment be made in front before those copies are given to them. So when we asked them and told them that they were gonna have to pay up front, they said that MyPillow guy was gonna pay for it. But MyPillow guy never
showed up?
Never showed up, did he, Craig?
No, well, one of them even said that we'll let him get his own records, so. But,
But it, you know, it was a shuffle.
and, you know, we're gonna be responsive. If somebody comes in, if you guys come in and you say, I wanna know how many votes were cast in blah, blah, blah election, I'm gonna walk over to the filing cabinet, I'm gonna get it for you, and I'm gonna make you a copy of it and say, have a nice day. But if you come in with a request that's gonna require us to spend 60, 80, 100 hours exclusively, and some of these requests, that was what it was gonna be, because we were gonna have to redact information. And I'm talking exclusively, spend that amount of time on that particular request during an election cycle, then I can't do that. I mean, we're gonna have to find, you know, if somebody's willing to pay for that, we're gonna have to figure out a different way of going about that. And even some of that information that they were requesting back then is stuff that we can't give, to protect secrecy of the vote. And I'm talking about, you know, you've got a right for nobody to know how you voted when you walk in there. And things like that come up, that we've gotta ensure people's privacy. It's public records, but we've gotta ensure their privacy in certain situations. People that are in the nursing home, they've got a right to vote just like anybody else, but there's also laws that dictate, you know, we can't give out certain information on that. So those sorts of things that come up, and with the cycle and the way things are getting to be, I'm gonna start shooting those requests over to the county attorney and let them review it. Because I don't need to be on the wrong side, and the county doesn't need to be on the wrong side of anything, we need to make sure we're dotting i's and crossing t's. And that's kind of what this is about tonight.
You know, Craig, I was thinking earlier today that, I think maybe one of the other attorneys across the state mentioned that they were asking for names of poll workers and their addresses. And so that might be something we wanna think about.
Yeah, I don't know that right off the bat, if that was part of that or not.
Yeah, I just learned that today, and, so I may contact Mr. Dodd to see
Okay.
what he thinks about that. Because if we can protect that too, it might be a good idea, and we'll bring it back to the committee if we need to. I'll talk with Mr. Dodd and see what he says. Does anybody have any questions about this?
So do we need to make this, do we need to make a motion of this to accept this resolution?
You're going, yeah, this committee will, recommend it or not to the full commission.
Okay.
I make the motion.
Are you right, Ms. Neville Cody, or you, that it's gonna be recommended to the full commission? Okay,
Informally, you can do that.
okay.
So that's the question.
Jeff made a motion to recommend to full commission. Do I hear a second? Randall second. All four say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Do you wanna, can we keep this?
Yes, yes, that's your copy. Now, that's a rough draft.
Rough draft, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I understand that, okay.
I've got another on top of mine, but I'll wait for the revised one.
Okay. And I'll get that to you and, Taylor, so she can. The next, full commission is February
February
12th.
twelfth, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Does anybody have any more questions for Craig? You're welcome to stay, if you can leave if you want to, too.
I think I'm gonna ease on that.
Okay, all right, I'm just telling you, you're
Thank you
welcome.
very much.
Yeah.
And you can keep it, Brandon. We'll just throw it away.
It's nothing that we don't need to throw away. I didn't know if it's something we didn't need to throw away.
I'll give a copy to Stephen.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, okay, yeah, give him that.
and I'm gonna leave if you don't mind, because I have to drive back to Nashville. So-
Okay.
careful.
Okay.
Be careful.
If
Do you have to come back tomorrow?
Yeah, the funeral is 11 in the morning.
Okay, are you gonna work tomorrow?
No,
No, okay, all right, well, be careful.
okay,
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Next up is travel policy. Okay. I don't have any extra copies.
I have a copy.
Do you have a copy
I have eight. Who else?
of what we've been working on?
Yes.
This right here?
Yes.
Right there?
Yes.
Yes, Jeff, do you have a copy? Randall, do you have a copy? I need a copy for Randall.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
And do you think we, could take it and read it and come back later?
Yes, yes.
Cause I haven't read it either.
Yes.
We'll have to
Do you need a
put it on
copy?
second, 'cause I don't- 'cause I know nothing about the, I said I know nothing about the change in policies from now. Not like the one we got the other night, so.
A lot of the state policy, the way it reads, it don't even pertain to really us. The state policy, I mean.
And how we gonna schedule the next meeting for Tuesday tonight, today's Tuesday tonight?
The next, what do we say?
It's the 13th, February 13th,
Yeah.
that's what we said the other night. Yeah, I was just sitting, I was line up to see when Tuesday the ninth was, yeah. No, okay. So that needs to read to February 13th, no?
I think.
Instead of Tuesday, January the ninth.
Yeah, that'll be our next meeting. Give us just a few minutes, Miss Kimmy, she's going to make some copies for us.
sometimes it's 3 or 4 inches more.
The second is about suffocating me.
I just hope we don't get no snow. I mean, I know you just wanna be out of school, no offense.
I hope it snows.
I have to go clean the sidewalks off, so.
I hope it snows me to a G route, but I hope a G route down those knees, it does.
Yeah.
Clean sidewalk,
Yeah.
or,
Courthouse, community center, and the library. And then I try to go over to, well, it used to be Barbara's office. I used to do theirs too, cause I don't want them
I've
to.
heard the city done all of them, and everything.
And now I make sure that they've got a way to walk in.
Need copies for the other members also.
Right, right. I get mine back. No, I wanted everybody to go over and look at it and see what they thought, you know? And maybe let Lillian Sales go over and see what she
Are they
thinks.
supposed to be these two?
Yes, yes.
If that was okay with y'all, I mean, I'm just saying. We get Miss Lillian's approval, that, you know, see if we left out any, if there's anything that we need.
Okay. So from what I see, there's two different policies.
One's a travel policy and one's a vehicle use policy. This way it will represent the whole of Overton County. You know,
Where'd you find this at?
well, it's from the state. I just took parts of the state, went through and kind of revamped it a bit. Because a lot of, and you can ask Connie, this is true, a lot of the state didn't even pertain to us, right? Am I right?
Yes, like the Edison, like the software.
Yes,
system
yes,
and-
yes. So that's all it was. But I mean, if you just don't like it, then we can come up with something else. I mean, it is what it is. Has anybody else got anything on travel policy? I mean, that's all we was discussing, right?
Yes, no, I don't, I just, we'll review that and then get back.
Okay.
I was gonna,
Be sure Lillian gets a copy of that
I
to
will.
make sure.
I was gonna have these numbers ready, and I did have them ready, but then there's some changes that we need to make, for the travel mileage to be reimbursed to Stephen. So, he had been in a meeting all day today and didn't get to confirm the economic development portion.
Right.
So until I get that finalized, I'd rather wait and bring it back.
Wait and bring it back.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
That way I make sure my numbers are right.
Right, right. Any old or new business to discuss? Anybody got any old or new business? Okay, according to this, our next scheduled meeting is February the 13th. Everybody okay with that? 5:30,
Good.
you all good?
You good, Randall?
Got a Friday?
I hope not.
Tuesday, February 13th.
Okay.
Right, right.
I mean, if we have to, no, I can do it on Friday now,
Let's
if
take
we
a
have
half out
to.
there if he was superstitious.
Nope.
Oh, Friday the 13th?
Yeah, it's all right.
I need a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion.
Jeff made a motion.
Now, let's just. I'll second.
Randall second. All four say aye. Motion passes. All four.